Hey, welcome back to the Metro Icon podcast for this very late upload. Happy Father's Day to many of you fathers out there. This is my little fur babe that we brought in. Look how big he's getting. Almost 20 pounds, y'all. He is growing. He is growing. He is happy. You happy? He's happy. There we go. So I'm excited to bring you this new episode. Coming in late. It's been a crazy time, crazy day. What you see is actually going to be no more. We're going to be moving into a new place in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Hoping to not have any interruptions as far as the uploads being coming in every single week, but we'll keep you posted. Otherwise, go ahead and follow me on my socials. Go to my website, www.theshowman.live, or go on my Instagram page, at Shawn Kay Doitall, to get more up-to-date news of events and all that good stuff. And make sure you guys are checking my stories because they've been pretty fun lately. Other than that, y'all, let's go ahead and talk about it. Bingo karaoke has been happening, but we've also had Mavs in the NBA Finals. It is going to be Game 5 tomorrow. I've been DJing a lot of the NBA games at Scout, especially if they're on a Thursday or whatever. But tomorrow, I'm actually going to be making my way down to Austin for another KT run. Attempt number 9. Let's see what happens. But until then, catch me every single week doing bingo karaoke. Where on Tuesdays, you can catch me in downtown Fort Worth at the Library Bar from 9 to 1 a.m. And then on Thursdays, from 7 to 11 p.m. at Scout inside the Statler Hotel in downtown Dallas. In case you guys don't know how bingo karaoke works, bingo numbers are called with every karaoke performance that comes up on stage, and anyone that's playing bingo, which is free to play, or doing karaoke, which gets these bingo numbers called, bingo winners have a chance to win gift cards to the establishment themselves that they can put on their tab that night. It's super awesome. I'm working on some other shows, but until then, let's go ahead and talk about this episode, y'all. I'm super excited because this is a really cool dude in the DFW comedy scene. He's actually doing some incredible things, working with some incredible comedy acts. Also been on Kill Tony as well, and done pretty well and held it down. You know, he brought him by the house, and we just had a fun afternoon, just kind of getting to know each other. So, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and turn your speakers up. Here's my episode with Cody Swindell.
This stuff is really fresh.
You can do it all.
You can.
Do it all, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Metro Icon podcast, where I'm your host, Shawn Kay the Showman of Doitall Entertainment and DIA Media. And you know what we do on this show? We talk about the world of entertainment and media and the icons that live in it. And man, we got an icon in the house I do believe is going to be making serious waves. And we're going to be talking about his most recent accomplishments. But ladies and gentlemen, very fun. Cody Swindell, everybody.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, Shawn?
Yeah. Now, usually I'm able to make the joke to comedians of, hey, how does it feel to hear that? But I know that confidently you have gotten that.
Oh, some. Yeah, a couple times. It's
yeah.
still nice to hear, though.
Yeah.
Even the AI generated.
Gives you a reason to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming through, man. I want to say it didn't take too long to get here. We only had like one rescheduling point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
we're a week behind.
But a toast with the signature Metro Icon drink, the Evan Williams Honey Bourbon. I don't know if you're a whiskey guy.
Not typically, but I've been getting more into it lately. My
Yeah.
wife likes whiskey more. I'm drink tequila more lately.
But that's healthier.
Tequila is?
Tequila is healthy. It's a healthy
I like to think so. I like to think the clear is better, but I don't know how sound that bro logic is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I think science has proven
That clear really is better than brown.
Especially tequila is considerably the healthiest alcohol, like hard liquor to drink.
Oh, nice.
And that's why actually you see a lot of the big celebrities and stuff is going into that. But then you have obviously, Ryan Reynolds has like a gin, and
Yeah.
You know, people have like whiskey, but I'm a whiskey guy, and this is none other than the Showman's drink. I call it the Show Fashioned. Just some simple Evan Williams honey bourbon.
It was good.
It's fantastic.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it.
It was really easy to drink, surprisingly.
Right? And you saw me pour it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, shit. oh, fuck. Okay, it's going to be one of those.
I was like, I'm drinking it either way.
Thank you again, man, for coming through. How was the drive coming in?
Not bad, actually. It was like less than 40 minutes.
So what general area? Is it like more around Dallas?
Yeah, I'm in Addison right now. I'm pretty close to
dude,
the
that's
Improv.
fucking, yeah, it's right there. That's perfect.
So I was right up whatever highway that is. Yeah.
So, if you guys don't know, make sure you guys are following Cody Swindell. Would you consider yourself a decent Google search if you put in Cody Swindell?
No, dude. If you search for me, you're gonna get a lot of Cole Swindell, the country singer. And if you put it in YouTube, it's the same thing. I think if you put Cody Swindell comedy, you might get me, but
Cody
I'm pretty
Swindell
far down
comedy.
the rabbit hole still.
Okay. Well, if you're not following Cody Swindell, he had, so I'll tell you this right now. I've been backwards binging Kill Tony.
Oh, nice. I got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a
So,
fun
like,
way to do it.
Yeah, and so like I would see like sporadic episodes, and I think that's kind of how it, whatever it's the YouTube algorithm will just kind of
Right.
put out whatever. But do you remember yours? I know it was high 560s. You were at a Vulcan Gas Company, right?
No. I was
it
at
Mothership.
I was at it was 611. Number 611. It was at the mothership. I don't know how many had been before.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was after and that was your first and only time that.
No, actually, the first time I ever did comedy was on Kill Tony, and that was in 2019. Though that was like I took a comedy class. I took a few weeks of a comedy class that was on Thursday nights, and then Kill Tony.
So you were
happened
living
to
in
come to
Austin at
Plano.
the time.
No, I was here in Dallas.
Oh shit!
It was when he was in 2019. He was still at the Comedy Store, and they had just started touring.
Yeah.
Hyenas had a location. In
Oh
Plano
wait,
at
you
the time.
said 2019.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't
this
even
was
doing
in
comedy.
LA.
Yeah. No, it was here. He came to Plano here in Dallas.
Oh, the Plano
Yeah, yeah.
episode. I haven't gone there yet.
Yeah, I don't know what number that one is.
I think it's like
It was-
4, because it's around there, but it might be like 423 or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if he had
them.
them, but if you put Plano, it'll come up in there. But
Yeah,
shouldn't do that. It wasn't a good
I'm pretty confident that it's like in the low 420s,
Yeah.
if not in the high 410s.
yeah.
I'm about to
Adam Ray was the guest, which is cool. I just got to do a guest spot for him a couple weeks ago when he was
Dude,
here in Dallas.
I am becoming the biggest Adam Ray fan.
What got you to start watching? What did you catch on to the Dr. Phil stuff? Because everybody said he blew up. Really? Everybody said he blew up from that. I was like, man, that's
No, but
so
like
odd. That's what made
so
him pop.
this,
It's awesome.
when I really start seeing this consistency. Damn, never mind. 376. I was way off.
that was Plano.
I was way off.
Yeah.
Adam Ray, Jeremiah
Man.
Watkins, holy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly, man, like, I watched him do Dr. Phil, and I'm like, fuck. Then I watched the Dr. Phil live, and I'm like, okay, this dude's also like a generally good interview. But then he was on Bad Friends, which is like my favorite podcast show.
Oh yeah.
Next to probably what Kill Tony is now. But I've kind of I've had to take bro. It was like because I also drive Lyft.
Oh yeah.
So when you're doing that, it's like I'm listening to podcasts
Right.
way more than I'm listening to music.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I went into a binge. Now I started watching. I'm watching his I watched his San Francisco special. I watched his Portland special.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, his like crowd work specials he's putting out.
yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
but I mean, and obviously, I think a lot of these comedians now are really finding and building the traction of like the TikTok short reels, like these clips. I think that's what happened with like Matt Rife, you know?
Right.
So a lot of people are now just see, but like his diversity, like did you ever watch the show Young Rock on NBC?
No, I didn't see that one.
Okay, so I'm a big rock fan.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, when I finally I got a deal on a Peacock thing or whatever.
Right.
I watched Young Rock, and Adam Ray plays Vince McMahon,
Right.
and he's fantastic.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? So I mean, like he says that he's like an actor as well, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, dude, that dude is a fucking showman,
Yeah.
and because he can fucking sing, he fucking starts dancing, like,
Yeah.
and he has the commanding tone. You just don't want to fucking put away. Like the
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
now he's literally going, "We'll be right back." Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? More people are thinking about Dr. Phil as Adam Ray
Right, right.
having merch now and shit, you know. But
Yeah.
like, once I become a fan, dude, like I will go on the rabbit hole, you know. I just you know who I just refresh myself a comedian with, watching his first few specials, Patrice O'Neal.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I forgot.
yeah.
I forgot how dope he. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like I've always been a fan, and I remember like even seeing him on The Office.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you an Office fan?
A big Office fan, yeah.
Yeah. So he was like he played one of that warehouse. Like, oh shit, they got Patrice
I
on
know.
there. Yeah.
It sucks there's not more stuff to catch from him.
But
obviously.
anyways, I
Yeah.
digress. I'm going into. We did a nice little meditation before we walked in here, and so yeah, pretty. What'd you think about the? You literally heard me say jokes about my fucking house last night.
Oh yeah, it made it easy to find. Yeah.
Oh, there's the park.
Yeah, caught your set recently, so I was able to find your house.
Yeah. So you've been doing comedy now officially. So if 2019 was your first time, then you're coming on 5 years.
Well, I didn't do. I call it 3 years. I didn't do an open mic until a year and a half after that. After I did Kill Tony, I didn't go back to that. That was like week 3 or 4 of that comedy class I was taking. And Tony came into town that night, so I went to that instead of that class and ended up getting on.
Okay. Where was the class?
It was Dallas Comedy House back when it was
former. The former.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were renting out a building. We were having a comedy class in like the back of a Sunday school room. Like it was pretty funny. It was a fun thing, but it felt weird. I was having troubles at my job and stuff. I ended up quitting my job and moving to Austin.
What were you doing?
At that point? I was working on elevators. I think I said that on that Kill Tony episode too back then. I think I said.
With the Plano one?
Yeah, the Plano one, that first one. And,
Elevators.
yeah, so I had done
I feel like spot
no
on.
real open mics. Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank you
embarrassing.
for giving me that ammo. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it works into my material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, have you made
Yeah.
a joke? I don't know if I've ever heard you say a joke about.
I don't really. I've worked on some stuff, but nothing I keep. Nothing I ended up putting in my
Damn.
set really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something definitely there.
Yeah, there will be for sure.
I mean, you know, I think
Gotta-
I think it's one of those things because you have a very chill tone, you know, to
Oh yeah.
your delivery. Are you Texas born?
Yeah. From
Okay.
Dallas. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have the hard country twang, but it's there.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like a little dent in dust. You know.
Oh, yeah. I got it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either way, it is interesting that like if you were to find something where it's kind of like it's just as like you're delivering with like in a very monotone as if like just like an elevator going up and down. Or,
Yeah. There's definitely stuff to get in with
were you
everyone
able
I
to
worked with up there, coworkers and stuff. There's
When you-
definitely material.
by working on elevators, were you able to dictate the music that they played?
No, that's one of the reasons why I quit. Literally.
It's valid.
This fucking weirdo that I worked with, he was going through a lot, like mentally, I think. He was an older dude or whatever towards the end of his career. Things weren't going the way he planned or whatever. And he would listen to Christian radio when we'd be in these elevator pits and stuff, which I grew up listening to and stuff. Yeah, it's not the most exciting thing to listen to for 8 hours with another grown man in an 8x8 elevator pit, concrete pit. This song came on that said, like, I'm wiring the side of a elevator shaft, like doing this task for the first time or whatever. So I'm a little bit nervous, like want to make sure I got it right. It's kind of dangerous. You're on top of an elevator in a shaft.
Yeah.
And this weird song comes on about like look up to God or something. And this dude grabs my face and pulls my head back and was like, look up to God. And I turned around, I was like, dude, don't do that. Like as simply as I could. and turned back around. I was like, what the hell is going on right now?
Holy shit.
That this maniac thinks he needs to grab the side of my face. Like, and I'm kind of a germaphobe, dude. I don't want dudes.
Well, I mean, no, beyond that, dude, it's just boundaries. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, doesn't seem like y'all were that tight or
not
close.
at all. Yeah.
So for you to, you know what I'm saying? Somebody doing like, yo, pause. You know, like,
yeah, right.
There's no reason you need to put your hands on me for any fucking reason. Dog.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And so, like, I think that's where, that shit is too intense for me. And you know, I think that's sometimes it's a little bit of that nature. I think that like it pulls people like me away from like church and all that kind of shit. You know, because you see people responding and acting a specific way. Son of a bitch! I don't know what the hell just happened. This is my power. This is my power struggle, dude. But at least we're still recorded. Either way, man.
There wasn't much redeemable outside of that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like the last straw, but it was just like about a month later after that, I was like, this isn't where I'm gonna stay. Like, why waste another moment there? You know what I mean?
So it was that swing, and did you go to comedy full time? Do you do anything on the side right now?
At that moment, I quit and went back to Austin and started going back to school. And that's how I was, because I was using my GI Bill and stuff, so I could
GI Bill,
so I could make money to go to school. It was like when your parents are like, you have to either get a job.
You might
or go to
as
school.
well
I was
take
doing that with the government.
Yeah. Like if it's getting covered for you to further your education, why the fuck not? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was a cool thing for a while, but I did do that for a while, but I'm not doing that anymore. We're about to move again, so get something else going on.
When you say we, do you mean you and your wife?
Yeah, she's got a stable job and everything.
So let little look, because I wasn't I think too familiar what your cap status was, but so you're married. How long have you been married?
5 years.
5 years. How long have you known each other?
7 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So before was she at the Plano thing?
Yes. Yeah, she was with me. You know what's cool is we sat, Matt McElhone, comedian. He's a Denton comedian. He's been out of it for a little while because he recently had a kid.
That I know. Because I've only been doing it for 2 years, a little over 2 years now.
Right. But
I'm also fresh to DFW, so it's like
right. He's a hilarious comic from up here, but
I believe you.
He was doing the same thing I was doing, his GI Bill and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So I had that going on for a while, but I don't even remember why I brought up Matt.
Because you were going to school is when you and your girl met 7 years ago.
Oh, Matt was sitting next to us.
Oh, at the Plano thing. Yes, yeah, there we go.
Right. He was sitting right next to us and was like, after I got called up, he was like, yeah, your husband should come out to Mike's and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm eventually going to do that. But then we moved to Austin. I went back to school and stuff. And I thought I was going to start comedy. But by the time I got the balls to start, the pandemic hit. Everything started kind of shutting down. Played the waiting game again.
Pesky pandemic.
Yeah. And then I moved back to Dallas by the time I started actually doing comedy. So it was a year and a half after that. Kill Tony set in 2019. So now I've been doing it like 3 years in February.
Nice.
Hit my first mic in like February. And then it was like a year here in Dallas, then a year in Austin, now a year back in Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah. And were you ever, prior to comedy, were you like a guy that, because I think we had kind of talked about the whole like other skills and talents and stuff. So I would imagine there hasn't been that much opportunity for you to actually be on stage prior to that first experience.
Not at all. Me and my wife were talking about it the other day. I went to this tiny little school in Balch Springs, and our fine arts class was just the owner of the school's, or the founder of the school's wife, basically babysitting us for an hour. Like I drew a duck once. We would watch Veggie Tales. Like it was just, she had us in the chapel while she was babysitting her grandkid.
But as soon as the Veggie Tales starts like singing some Christian rock, you're like, you son of a bitch.
Y'all close our eyes or anything?
All right. But and this was, you said in Austin?
This was here in Balch Springs, South Dallas. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like we were kind of, the questions are kind of going back and forth. We're jumping the timelines and stuff. Like we're kind of going all over the place.
Me and my wife have been married 5 years, and when we got together, we met here in Dallas.
When did you know? You were like, oh, I'm going to ask this girl.
Well, we got married, or I proposed after dating for like 10 months or a year. Not very long, and then we got married within a year after that. So it was,
Oh shit!
yeah, we got married pretty fast.
And so and you were working at this time already.
I was at the elevator thing,
doing that elevator business
for a while.
It's gotta
And
be
before
good.
that, I was working.
It's got to be good money, man. I know those jobs are fucking.
It is,
expensive as
and I was
shit.
right at a point where I was doing it where it was like I was gonna be. If I stayed any longer, I was gonna be more in it than I currently was. You know what I mean? So I was like, I have an opportunity right now before things get a little bit more serious to get out of this.
Dude, because I'm just thinking of like you also mentioned because it's what made you definitely want to leave. Like the nail on the coffin was that dude like touching your face and preaching God. Do you think possibly that when he touched your face, God actually came in and that was a realization point that you needed to change and go someplace?
That might have been the miracle.
Yeah.
That might have been the
because I'm guessing you were born and raised Texas and shit. You got to be a good old Christian boy.
I am. I still believe in God. Even I went to a crazy little Christian school, but
yeah, I mean, I grew up.
But I still don't want dudes grabbing my face listening to.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that.
This isn't Pentecostal Sunday morning service. I don't need.
You know about Pentecostal?
You know? I grew up Pentecostal, dude.
That's wild. So we have a Pentecostal in obviously within our but like so I'm assuming then this is one where no jewelry is wearing, no drinking.
I don't think. So most people jump to like snakes and stuff. Dude, never seen a snake in church. Like I've never, we weren't that kind of Pentecostal. But like if you catch churches, like you'll obviously First Baptist or whatever is a thing, and then there'll be like whatever Assemblies of God. We were that branch of Pentecostal or whatever. A lot of people say spirit filled, like believe in the Holy Ghost and stuff. Like it was that kind of church, but no snakes. Girls still wore jewelry and stuff.
Image of the cross in Jesus Christ on the cross
in the church.
Yeah,
there were crosses. Yeah,
just crosses,
but not. I don't think Jesus was on it.
Yeah, like
it wasn't like a Catholic church.
So part of our church, which is like kind of more the Indian, like the Indian classification of it within the world of Christianity and Catholicism. It's kind of like more of a Greek Orthodox type, Syrian Orthodox. In a sense, with like melds of Catholicism, but like ultimately the big part of it is you see, like they have like it's usually in the church, but they'll have it's like a cross with Jesus on the cross.
I always wonder what that distinction was because I noticed it was Catholic churches and stuff.
Man,
I was like, there's so many little variations like that. Like there's a reason why.
That's
I have
where
no idea.
So like and then then it's like kind of like when it came to my like family's church, I mean, you're a kid. There's not even they're not speaking the actual language or English. It's like a mix between like the our language, Malayalam, and like Syrian Orthodox terminology.
Right.
And we're there for like 2.5 hours on a good day. You know what I mean?
It's long services for us too.
And so it deterred me from like now I'm 37 my mom is very, very religious. My family is very conservative, very religious. And especially going through like some like that's it's like it brought me back. And I have one of my good friends, he's very, very spiritual, but like it's the idea of church that is tough with me, I think.
Really?
I think that it's almost like church is like going into politics.
I've been talking about.
That's why you don't talk. It's not good to talk about either or.
Yeah.
On stage, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's what they say, and then you end up having to write material about one or the other at some point.
Yeah.
Everybody
So I
falls
mean,
into
again,
it.
but it gets like, who's to tell? Again, it's like somebody hears that story of how you started, right? And they're like, "Wow, you have a gift now," and they find this out. That's the determination. It was like, I don't want no fucking creepy motherfucker touching my face, yelling at me about Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want, and that is so valid. But like, again, on the other side, they can be like, oh, the answers came to you when one of his followers.
And sure, because I needed something really. Because dude, it was the same thing as like
conflict.
I have jokes now about not being a mechanic. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm not a mechanic. I never wanted to be a mechanic. I never wanted to do that type stuff. You know, and I really take to it. I don't have an attraction to it or anything. but I kept putting myself in situations where I was doing things I knew I didn't want to do, almost as like self-punishment. Like I feel like this is the responsible thing. Yeah. This is what I'm supposed to do. But it's not responsible to do stuff when you're not, where your heart's not in it, because you're just in the way of other people whose heart would be in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's a really important thing to find some kind of form of something you're interested in, man.
So what I'm gathering too is kind of like at a certain point when you realize, oh, you know, I'm financially sound, I got a good woman, you know, getting married, all that. And do you feel like at that point there was your own personal lack of internal peace? And ultimately, you just had to shift that more than anything.
Yeah, kind of. And to be honest, like being a people pleaser, part of me is a people pleaser or whatever. I think
can see that.
I live. I don't like, I hate feeling like I'm in the way. Like I just like keeping to myself, knowing I'm not bothering anybody. You know what I mean? That's how I am in the club. Yeah. When I walk in the club, keep my shoulders down and everything, whatever. Or fucking head down,
shit! See, you ain't gonna. That's like you only know me from like the comedy scene and shit, bro. You never.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're able to make a trip out and come for bingo karaoke, because
at the library.
Yeah. So like, and so have you ever met Esperanza Moses? She's like this little shorty.
Yeah, man.
Latina
I met her a few weeks ago. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's doing their grand opening weekend this weekend, Jack's Comedy Club.
Oh, that's opening.
This episode,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So the intro for the episode that will be released this week, 41, I'll mention that, but
cool.
Anyways,
nice. I'm excited for that.
This will be some weeks ahead. You're in line. But anyways, Jack's Comedy Club in Rockwall, and I'm excited for that because I'm like, we have to, I think, celebrate. And then, aside from that, I'm gonna shout out because obviously I'm at the Library Bar in downtown Fort Worth, but I am looking to. I'm thinking about possibly even doing it this weekend, but checking out Big Laughs Comedy. And weren't you just there?
Yeah,
Which, congratulations on that, because this guy, not only you featured for Zarna Auntie.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Zarna
dude.
She was great.
Yeah.
She was funny.
Yeah, man. And she's, dude, her material is like even just content and like how she involves her family on TikTok.
Right.
Like go auntie, go. Like it's so fire for me. That shit hypes me up, right? Like it gives me as like a first generation, but she is like an immigrant, obviously, so like that type of to see that and seeing it how it now transcends within even just her family dynamic, but how it just she's next level, dude.
Yeah, she's constantly pumping stuff out too.
I'll call her maybe the Indian Roseanne Barr.
Oh man, I got you. Yeah. I can see that for sure.
Feel that, man?
Yeah.
You see how I'm able to make you relate to it, you know what I mean? Like,
very Roseanne House growing up, so I can see that.
But she's a G, you get G energies from her,
For sure. Yeah, I was trying to make sure everything went smooth for her that weekend. She crushed. She had an awesome.
Was it her?
I think
was it
awesome
Big Laughs that
her,
put you on? Was it her team?
Yeah, Big Laugh.
That's awesome. So yeah, I want to.
My first time meeting.
Yeah, I definitely want to even just check out the spot. I've had subscribed to them, and I know they were delayed in like opening up their doors.
Right.
And stuff.
That's why we were at the originally this time.
But it's pretty big. How big is that theater hold?
I think we had 500 something in there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
It was very fun. Yeah, they had the balcony filled out and everything. It was
because like Addison Improv, I think their max is just under 400 or something. It's like, but it's like tight as shit.
Yeah, that's what it made me wonder. I was like, man, how many people? Because I haven't done a lot of rooms yet, obviously, or whatever. But
even DCC's biggest room is I think 150, 175, something like that.
Have you seen since it's been remodeled?
Oh, they gutted.
Yeah, dude, it's a different place now.
No
great.
Shit. Yeah, I think it's been some weeks for sure at the.
Yeah, man, DCC's main room is awesome now. It looks cool.
Oh shit.
Real comfortable in there too, and you can get. It looks like you wouldn't be able to get as many, but I heard you get a few more seats in there.
Did they? Because I saw the construction was where the patio, they have those garage gated doors where they had a private section. So is that still there on the patio?
Yeah, that's still there, I think.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. It's definitely because like I also not many people know this, but I own a silent party system, so I'm trying to get those popped off way more.
Silent party?
Yeah, you don't know about that shit?
Is that
with the headphones? And you can have like multiple channels, like 3 channels playing. You can adjust the volume, but like so like imagine you're walking to a room, you see 3 DJs.
Yeah.
And there's like a Latin house and hip hop.
Yeah.
And it's like red, blue, green. And,
Yeah.
And so you can see like your headphones glow to the color that you're listening to. But I mean, it cycles through the same order. So it's like you can hear like the hip hop, but your headphones will glow to whatever channel you're listening to. So you can see what everyone's listening to and stuff. So
can you mess with them and put like one thing different on like one dude's channel? Like
no, not just one. No. Like it's like it's a transmitter goes to a specific channel that all the headphones can connect to.
Oh, yeah, that's not as fun. You just give them like CB radio. They're listening to truckers and dancing to that all night. That'd be fun.
Well, I can put a transmitter on like because I did like autism events, and so we would have 2 like different party channels, like a live DJ channel, and then like another playlist channel. And then the 3rd channel, which was like blue, which was their color, was like the calming channel. So if there was people with on the spectrum that had auditory placement, it's like when things were.
Oh man.
So I would put it on, and it was like very easy sounds. And
man, I'll take that to a baseball game or something, dude.
It ain't that serious, you can do that with the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You know the Bluetooth. You know Bluetooth. You know Bluetooth is in the headphones. The Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You know about Bluetooth?
I've heard of her.
Yeah, the Bluetooth. No. It's the technology, the Bluetooth. Yeah. I mean, the headphones itself only works with the system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you can plug aux to aux, but nobody's doing that shit no more.
Yeah.
So
nobody's sharing headphones.
Yeah. So like with like if you have a Bluetooth, you can just do that on your phone, and then it'll cancel out, and you can just put on whatever you want. It's easy. Anyways, speaking on shit that nobody gives a fuck about. So we don't have to press onto it, but as a good American would, thank you for your service, sir. We don't. I know you. And you mentioned you were like, we don't need to talk about it, and we don't have to. I will. I don't know if I ever told you, but I do have a cousin that was in the Air Force.
Oh yeah.
And he actually was in Denton. But now they live in San Jose, like close to his family. Like
oh man,
stuff.
Nice. You can get some good assignments.
Yeah, but like even though I think he's like a lieutenant, I believe.
Oh,
like
nice.
His ranking.
Yeah, it's worth him being in. That's cool.
Yeah. But like I always just call him Captain. Like it's just easier just to call him Captain. He's like my old he's the only one in our like immediate family, like first cousins that like went into the military. And
really?
Like, the Air Force. I'm like yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find like I will ask this, not about your experience in the Air Force per se, but like experience dealing with other military branches, like coming across and meeting dudes from like the Army, the Marines. You know what I mean? Like, can I ask about that? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, I didn't really have to engage too much, mostly in tech school.
Do you feel like the Air Force gets the respects it deserves?
No, nobody does. I mean, I'm not saying we deserve more respect. I mean, everybody shits on everybody, fairly.
Yeah.
There's definitely angles to shit on for every branch, But
that's fair.
Chair Force is not the most funny, but it's accurate, so I get why it sticks.
My cousin didn't even tell me about that. Maybe for good reason.
Yeah. A lot of office.
I don't want your loud ass fucking spreading that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, tech school, though, for my first job or whatever, was on a joint base. So I was with Navy and Army. And I guess some stereotypes are true. Like a lot of Army guys are kind of gung-ho and stuff, but not everybody. Everybody's a person. I got along with a lot of the Navy guys that were really chill.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's like that.
I think, you know what? All right. You know what? I'm trying to, I think, drive maybe some more, comedy-driven stories, like where, maybe there's opportunity to, say funny situations of like branch clash,
Yeah.
But I actually kind of respect where you're coming from. I think here's the deal, dude. It's it doesn't matter what branch of military they're coming from. Dude, you're like there's no reason to. You're not loud. You're not you're like
Yeah.
I think you just kind of you're a very roll with the punches. It's like riding in an elevator. And you don't know how many floors, but there are 3 people there, and each person's got to go to their floor, and y'all have no problems riding that elevator together, you know? And you're like that guy. It's like, I think you and I would very much have fun in an elevator. I think
just get stuck in an elevator.
Actually, you know what?
Afternoon.
That's a good
podcast.
Podcast bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you can find like a like a building, something like it have to be maybe a work one. But like you just do an elevator podcast.
Yeah. Get it to stall out.
Kind of fucking genius. You would need a pretty big podcast though.
Yeah.
Or a big podcast, big elevator. You need a like small podcast where fairly decent sized elevator.
For the equipment, yeah.
Yeah. But all right.
Yeah.
You know. Clip it. All right. If somebody does the idea, I'll know where it came from.
That's
bitch.
ours.
So, all right, you've been doing comedy. So now you have no side hustles whatsoever.
No, I still am trying to go back to school, but not. I went to UNT for a little while after going to Texas State.
Denton?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that screwed me this last semester.
Where were you going to? Where were you going to UNT for?
Media arts. Yeah, I was trying to go for like not for the degree, really just to learn stuff I would need as a podcaster or whatever I want to get into later. Just make myself familiar.
So what's your specialty? Are you like, were you driven for sound? Were you driven for video? Were you driven for...
I didn't get to do the program yet. I took some classes at Texas State before we moved back here. I finished school. I got a degree at Texas State and then restarted so I could keep using this GI Bill. So I used that up. This is very boring, like how I was making money.
The government!
But I was basically like, I only had, because I was already halfway towards the degree when I started. So I finished that, still had a lot left. So I was like, I don't really want a master's in this. I want to learn something I can use. And
Did you already have a bachelor's in?
Yeah, from Texas State. And then I continued going there.
What was your bachelor's in?
I was just talking about it last night. I don't know exactly. It's bachelor's in applied arts and science, awesome. But it's like I took some management classes, but it wasn't a management degree. Okay. But they had some kind of program down there at Texas State, which is why I chose there. That they used all of your life credits, like bullshit credits that I earned in the military that don't count towards anything. Okay. They made them apply towards something so that it could bump me up and I'd be closer to getting a degree. I did like a capstone project.
So it was more so like the journey experience than you were like, I hope to find the answer. Like, yes, I want to do this.
I just wanted the paper, and I knew I could make money to be in school more than I can make at a part-time job, less than a full-time job.
But did you have an actual direction of like an education leading to a specific type of job or field?
No, not at all.
You're right.
Not at all. By that time, literally on my capstone, it was like, where do you see yourself in a few years? I drew a stick figure with a mic stand and a microphone. I was like, hopefully I'm doing this shit.
What year was this?
2020. And then I started in 2021. Yeah.
Damn. That's fucking deep.
So I was
deep,
there.
Dude.
I did it. A year from then, I did have a mic, but it was at like open mics. So.
But I mean,
but I started.
Bro,
that's what.
But
it was.
I think that like, something that like it's something a small thing to take for granted. But like, I understand, you know, with my experience, my career, but like all the endeavors I've done within entertainment, or like especially the live stage aspect of it. Right, I've been doing this well before I was getting paid for it at 18. You know what I mean? And
nice.
So,
you seem like a natural with all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the one thing I bring to comedy, it's like I know the comedians in the room are gonna be funnier than me, but it's me. My stage confidence will be unprecedented.
That's not true either. That's not.
No, it's very true.
The comedians, most comedians in the room. I don't know. We had this debate yesterday.
We're talking about a TKs on Wednesday. That's annoying. Yeah, I ain't gonna get no fucking support, but it is the reason why I like it where I try out new material. You know, at those type of mics is because then I'll try it again and it ends up being funnier.
Yeah.
You know where I go now on Mondays is Scout inside the Statler Hotel.
Oh man, I went to that one when it got moved over. That's a cool place,
dude. That's where I'm at with one of my corporate clients.
Yeah.
Go high level, and I do a lot of their little like networking and smaller corporate or events throughout the year.
Yeah.
And so the last one was a karaoke thing in Scout.
Oh, cool,
and so like, but it's a dope stage. It's a perfect vibe. It's intimate, you know what I mean? Like perfect height for like ceilings and view. Like you can fill up seats in there.
Yeah,
so
you can get some people up to the front.
I'm going to be talking to them
Monday.
very, very soon because they're familiar with me. Like the staff, they remember seeing me and they're this dude has familiarity. So, but yeah, I'm excited because that's going to like popping off shows over there is going to be very, very fun.
Yeah. Anything else we can get showcase wise worth a shot, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, thinking showcase wise, but like, you know, thinking about the variables of the venue and whatnot. That's why, like, you know, man, I had to give you your flowers on fucking getting that Big Laughs opportunity with Zarna because, like, dude, she is on a big wave right now. So was that crowd majority Indian people?
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you work with? Did you have material? Oh, did you talk about farting on an Indian guy?
No, I told my buddies I was going to open with that. I was like, oh my god, that was the new thing I was working on these past couple weeks. Nah, I did not open by saying I farted on an Indian guy.
Yeah, I actually developed a variant joke of that. But again, it's because it's like if you are Indian, you can talk shit about Indian people, right? Like,
or if you fart on them.
Yeah, but like I say that this got a true feelings, a lot of it too, right? But I always say that one thing I'm not like that prejudiced, but one thing I hate are dudes named Shawn, spelled Sean.
Yeah,
and people within their ethnicity fulfilling their stereotypes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you know exactly what the Indian stereotype is.
Yeah.
There's very few reasons.
That's not where the joke goes. Just to clear.
No. I'm speaking out my thing, right? I'm speaking way more details than I would deliver on the stage.
This is not my joke.
But I will say that, like, driving Lyft, I've come across Indians that stink so much, and you've been to UNT in Denton, and I'm pretty sure, like, about almost 100% of the Indians that they have through their international program are just still holding on to like whole motherland hygiene elements, right? And I've had Indians that smelled so bad that my fart was too scared to come out.
Yeah. Dang, dude.
It felt insecure.
This isn't my place.
They're like, I'm only gonna feed its power. You know what I mean? Like, I won't even be you anymore. You know,
Can't be
like
myself if I come out.
My fart was so insecure on how fucking bad this person smelled. I think it's a pretty good fucking premise, but I literally felt like that. You know.
Damn.
But yeah, it also boils me. Like when Indian people do standard Indian traits of how they are, and I'm just like, God damn it, you know. But then also, if you have a good consciousness, you can navigate forward, conductively. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like we keep going on tangent to tangent to tangent.
Oh, that's that's podcasting, dude.
That is podcasting. That is fine.
With Stone Comics, that's podcasting.
How are you feeling right now?
Oh, I'm cool. Yeah.
You cool? Yeah. We're a little over 40 minutes. I need to blow my nose like a motherfucker, and I'm gonna get a little bit of fresh air. But don't go too far. Is it gonna be an animated video or a word from our sponsors? Find out. But we'll be right back with this guy, Cody Swindell. And we're back here at the Metro Icon Podcast with the homie Cody Swindell, taking a short break, but coming back in, collecting ourselves from the conversation at hand. And that's the beauty part of this whole like podcast journey that I get to do is like, you know, the on camera, off camera conversations, right? You know? And it's funny because it's like before we start, I'm always like, we're like, you know what I mean? We're shooting the shit, kind of getting prepped in for it. And I'm like, fuck, we could, because you never want to have the same conversation twice.
Right,
you know what I mean? So like,
you gotta like stop yourself from saying stuff.
So what do you think is your process right now? Because obviously you're, I guess, freshen up the game. Do you think that like you'll be trying to develop like a headlining spot to put out like a 30-minute special or something? Because I mean you're coming on 5 years, man. I mean, so I think and right now you're starting to build a little bit more notoriety in your name. I saw a lot of the comedians were very supportive and happy to see you get that opportunity.
Well, 1 minute's way different than 30. But I see a lot of people releasing like 30-minute specials. I still have it in my head. I want to wait till I have an hour. I still want to wait until I'm a real headliner before I release anything.
What's the longest set you ever done?
20. So
okay.
Far.
Yeah. That's the longest.
Or 20 something. You know what I mean?
But longest set I've done was 20. I want to say I probably did a solid 12 with 8 minutes of fucking crowd work.
Oh yeah.
Just like writing shit.
Yeah. Not like I do a bunch of bullshit sets at Dusty's or whatever for the open mic, but like actual shows or whatever, like a 20-minute thing. But some of those have been like a few times. I don't know if I've done 20 yet clean, but recently, like for Zarna, that had to be clean because I was her opener and stuff like that. So, and a couple times, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I had to do open and do a clean set. And the front row was like 3 toddlers and a newborn baby. Like, it was like.
So okay, so I did
cussing.
Yeah, I did want to ask about that because I think you kind of said it last night at TK's. I don't know if you said you were a clean comic or you're trying to do more clean comedy.
Oh, I've just been opening just to kind of fuck around at stupid sets where it's just comics and stuff, just so I can have a little bit of fun on stage. I just have been doing a joke where I say I'm a clean comic and then do a bunch of dirty stuff.
Yeah, but you have, because I feel like I feel like I've had to heard you say, like you're.
Well, I got back and there was like, I don't know. Not that everyone was talking about or anything, but several people were like, "Oh, you're a clean comic," and I was like, "I'm not. I can do clean sets. I go to back door, but I'm not."
I was a little bit questioning because I didn't think you were. And
I don't pride myself on that or anything, but I can do clean sets. So
okay. So, but which is, I think that dude is actually where the money is.
Yeah, but yes.
Clean comedy is actually where the money is.
Because you can do corporate gigs and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But that's also not like, I don't want to aim for that at all.
Right,
if somebody wants to give me a corporate gig, I'll come do a corporate gig or whatever. I've done it before. I did one at noon for plumbers, and it was awesome. It was a great time, dude. It was really fun. I had my shirt tucked in. Like, I didn't wear this shitty hat.
You
know what I mean?
literally
I tried to
fit
put effort
the bill,
in,
though. You kind of fit the bill.
Of a clean comic?
No, of like any type of profession. Plumber, elevator technician. You know what I mean? Like,
it was like in a hotel though, so I thought they were gonna be like, I thought they were trying to like, I don't know what to expect. But I thought corporate. I need to have a collar and buttons for some reason.
Was that your first corporate gig?
It wasn't my first. It was, but I've only done a handful. I don't think that was my first one though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I obviously pressing into like the corporate world of things and stuff, but I feel like. But I'm again, like I stated, it was like I'm an MC first, and that's my primary bookings.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I'm hosting. I'm the one that's bringing up the comedian, and that's how I actually met a lot of really good comedians in the game. Because sometimes, whether it's a corporate event or a private event, it is that energy atmosphere. They're like, hey, we wanted to bring in a comedian to. Oh yeah. Like Rocky Deer. Rocky Deer is he's killing it right now. I mean, he's always been such a prime comedian to me, and I've known him since I started doing comedy. So,
gotcha.
And that's one thing I love to see was the amount of like Indian, Middle Eastern, comedians that were around DFW. That was really.
Yeah.
That was really, really dope. But like, not to say that like the comedy scene is like racially segregated. It's like Jets, it's like, but
no, that is. A lot of comedy shows though. It's there you have to pick colors for some reason. And I get it to an extent, but I hope to God that funny is still being prioritized over whatever color the paint sample is.
I think that's where the discrepancy comes with the audience, because ultimately you need to find the best way for them to trust you and your like actual energy and intention.
Right.
And so I feel like a lot of people hear controversial or non-PC type of comedy, or they're saying something outside of their let's call it ethnic station, or like how people would like classify them. And so if the audience doesn't trust you and then you start going into that material, it's like they just think that because he's saying his joke, they think it's actually how they really feel.
Oh, I got you.
And not understanding it as you're at a comedy show, it is jokes. Everything I'm saying to you is jokes. Right?
It's like the person saying it on stage doesn't mean you can say, they might be coming from a different perspective or a different background or whatever. All that stuff is bad. But like, I don't know if this is exactly what you're hitting on, but like working with Zarna this past weekend and stuff, she's obviously got a large Indian crowd, but her stuff, even though she's talking about a lot of Indian like stuff that is culturally relevant to her people,
right,
it still translates.
Yeah.
I can relate to her
Yeah.
material,
Yep.
even though not all of it hits exactly what my perspective is going through life. Like she's still a person that's talking about her family. I don't have a family yet, but I grew up with a family. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's just more. I don't know. It bums me out a little bit that everything has to have a theme and everything, and like, but we're all at this low level in comedy where shows have to have like gimmicks and stuff like that because nobody knows who we are yet and everything.
Right.
You can't be like, come see this person that no one knows yet. You know what I mean? But I just hope funny stays prioritized.
Yeah, man. And again, I don't have to explain to you the subjective nature of what makes this comedy game so hard. How you doing on your drink, by the way? Because I know we didn't re-ice.
Oh no, I'm cool.
It's
cool.
chill, right?
I'm good. Yeah.
It's pretty chill. Like that's the beauty of Evan Williams. I'm telling you, bro, I'm your guy, dude. Show fashion.
Gotta get the sponsor, dude.
Yeah, trust me, that's one I want. I definitely want to. I'll change their wave completely. But I want to be the Jake from State Farm from Evan Williams. That's who I want to be. I'll put the I'll keep the rap at home. Yeah. But all right, I have all of that in mind. Let's bring it back to Cody Swindell. And you are a full-time comedian. I'm like off camera. I'm just like, dude, how the fuck do you like outside of like just your government benefits and all that kind of shit?
No, I'm trying to max out on those.
Yeah, you're getting to that point, right? But and again, we don't need to go into the fine details. But as far as being in comedy, like, and let's say maybe you at a show, your biggest moment of let's say not well-received response from the crowd to any of your material or maybe a joke you said, like biggest, like whether it's the biggest heckler moment or it's just like biggest like emotional outburst. Like, what's your biggest one that you remember?
Two things come to mind. I blew it big time. The first one's on me. Recently at a Claws Out show, which is, you know, Mana. Mana's great.
I do. I just talked about Mana. To that, I was doing a consultation call with an aspiring, like, I guess, comedian or entertainer.
Oh yeah.
She was at my roast, which I'll be posting this weekend. But anyways, I was giving her names of like female comedians that she can kind of that I was like, yo, I think they're doing really dope.
Oh hell yeah,
learn a lot.
Nice.
And Mana was like literally at the top of my head.
Cool.
Yeah, but I also understand the realm of the comedy it is and the very accepting nature, and so sometimes
exactly.
like I think certain material feels more punching down in her
right
you know what I mean, so you have to be pretty mindful.
Yeah, like I said, I do clean stuff all the time, and I have some jokes that like ride a fine line or whatever,
which hers is not.
Yeah.
This
no, Mana's isn't like that at all.
Yeah.
We were doing a show right here in Denton, actually, right down the road or whatever. And it was one of Mana's shows, and I was doing, it wasn't one of my not that any of my shit's edgy or whatever, but it wasn't a joke that I usually have to worry about. It was a joke about Pokemon, dude, where I reference my dad having bloodhounds, and I said, but instead of saying bloodhounds, I said coonhounds. And I never say that, dude. Not that anything is wrong with saying that, but after I said that, I could have kept moving. But I knew I was uncomfortable because I said coonhounds. And I was like, I wonder if anybody else thinks that. Like, they know what I meant to say. I could have just kept moving. And I go, that means he was hunting raccoons, not black people. That just buried the hole, dude. I did not have to clarify.
Yeah. I found the problem.
They were like, okay. And I was like, all right, hilarious. This silence isn't going to get any better. Like this.
Yo, because I was like, I think my initial reaction would be like, because I feel like, okay, I understand the strategy, right? You're almost kind of like, find the comedy.
Exactly.
With the fuck up, right?
Like, obviously, y'all felt that pulse.
Let me
call it out.
Right, let me build it. But I think, though,
I didn't do it well.
What could have worked? Would been acknowledging the fuck up, almost in a sense of like, why did I say that? Oh, not trying to find the funny, find the why of why that even came out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I thought the quick clarification would make it better, but it instantly big hole, big hole, dude.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I could have breezed right then. I was like, okay, that was a moment I should have just breezed over.
How was the response when you got off stage? Was like,
they still clapped for me, but it was a pity clap. They were like, we know that didn't go well. Like that. I was like, thanks, God. We all knew it was one of those types of things. Yeah, I think Yeah. Because I think it was a 10 or 15 minute set. There wasn't much time left in it. I had a few jokes after that, but it wasn't.
No, but I'm like, did like Mana or anybody in Closet like?
I went to Mana afterwards and was like, that's not what I meant to say. She was like, I know exactly what happened. She's like, we talked about it, and she was like, don't worry about it, all this stuff. Like, she's very understanding. I think Mana's been very cool to me.
And Mana, and this is where I see her because you can see the following that she has, especially within the comedy community. But there are comedians that are doing very, very well, but she is consistent in putting on a great show.
She's worked her ass off since I've known her. So yeah, respect the hell out of her.
And for me, knowing her in the very short span, even well after I moved to DFW, but so I mean, I don't know on a personal level. I've had here and there conversations with her, and she knows who I am. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and essentially, I do the same thing, and I'm in Fort Worth, but you can see her skin in the game, and that very big assurance as a producer, as a comedian, and her game is doing well as well. So it's kind of like she's now finding the leaders that is going to be able to kind of, that she can pass on a lot of like these big mic opportunities that are drawing natural crowds. That's I think the best open mic you could ever go to is the one that has a bunch of comedians waiting with a general crowd that has no intention of ever jumping on the mic. They just wanted to hopefully hear something funny.
Yeah, just a few genuine audience members.
Yeah. So that's why I love Scout, man. I'm Gretchen is the I don't know if you know who Gretchen is.
Yeah.
She runs the mic at Scout.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want to work in and start organizing shows there because that is definitely a beautiful club, especially with people who are staying at the hotel. Cool, and Scout is got the games and all that kind of stuff, but you can hear everything that's going on and see it. So
hopefully get people downtown in there. Anybody staying in the place.
I'll keep you in mind, Cody Swindell. Bring the Pokemon joke. Just leave the coons. So fucking good.
Yeah.
So and then I think you said you had a second story. There's like two stories that came to mind.
My first heckler was at an open mic. It wasn't really at a show or whatever.
Yeah.
It was at like a karaoke bar, like a Korean restaurant, karaoke bar type place.
And like private room or public? It
was a public room. It was it was like long shotgun style restaurant.
Okay.
And we were like kind of back off in the corner, and the dude's sitting basically where you walk in at the other side. We're giving everybody shit all night, dude. And I'm a couple months into comedy at this point. And I hit record or whatever, and I go up there and I do some jokes about Christianity, like kind of up top.
Yeah.
Not really that.
Was it like a
pressing either.
Pretty Asian crowd or like
these two dudes were Asian. There wasn't really much of a crowd. It was mostly the comics up in our area, and then there would be some people in the booths. Yeah, there would be some people in the booth supporting that would sit up front, but you could sit wherever you wanted. So if you didn't really want to hear it, you could chill over there by the bar. If you could sit up closer if you wanted. The dudes that were like not involved at all kept like yelling to the other side. Every comic that would come up, and I was recording my set. Towards the end of my set, I did my jokes. It was about like a haunted house, like a Christian haunted house.
Okay.
And I said something. I said something along the lines of, without giving too much away, about something along the lines of Christianity being corny. This part of Christianity being corny. And I was talking about music and haunted houses and stuff. And he goes, "Man, you can't say that." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, said something back. I was like, "This isn't whatever you want it to be or whatever." I was like, "This isn't as bad as you want it to be or something." And afterwards, I went up to him and I was like, "Dude, you got something to say to everybody." I was like, "What's the deal?" Like,
you stepped up to him off the mic.
Yeah, I went up and said something to him after I got off. It didn't get intense when I was on the mic, but I was like, "Hey, dude, did I say something that bothered you specifically?" Like,
yeah.
Because at that point, I was like, if this turns into a conversation, fine, but I'm genuinely curious and I deserve to know since he interrupted me. what bothered him. I want to know as a comic what I said that bothered him. He was like, you can't say Christianity's corny. And I was like, dude, I am Christian. I was talking about this. And he ended up, I figured out he was a drunk dude about midway through our conversation.
Yeah.
And he was just being belligerent.
Which have the strongest of opinions. Yeah.
Exactly. He was like, oh, I'm middle grounds. I was like, what does that mean? He's like, I'm not this religion or that. He was just making shit up.
Yeah, man. I mean, bro, like, I it's so interesting to me when people start to fucking explain their personal definition of their relationship with whatever religion that they're fucking in.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't ask for anything. I was just
and it's kind of like, you should have known.
Right.
You should have known we were here, you know.
And I tried to just assure him. I was like, just to let you know, I am Christian. So I wasn't trying to say anything offensive. I was just talking about what I know.
I think, man, honestly, and look, this is probably just my personal viewpoint, but like, I think personally, I'm just, especially if it was like somebody who was talking with every fucking comedian that was going on. I'm like, yo, it's go time. All right, like you want to interrupt? I would throw in my fucking entire set.
Yeah.
And like, let's dissect this. You know what I mean? And I think they actually will. And how long ago was that moment?
That was 3 years ago. That was that was a couple months after I started. Yeah.
So I feel like right now, I think if that moment were to happen now, I feel like I can see you being able to be like, let's go ahead and dissect and find the funny here. You know, because
I don't dive in with hecklers a lot. I haven't really had much of an opportunity, honestly. Like usually, if
you're too likable,
I think I breeze over pretty easily. I hope that's it.
Breeze over when the elevator doors open up and that gust of the
fart wafts out. I just let it go, dude.
Like
hecklers are like an elevator farts.
You breathe in like an elevator fart. It's fucking great.
Yeah. So, I usually, because you know what I mean. Like usually you can just talk over instead of getting confrontational about it.
Right. Oh no.
Not everybody. Obviously.
And I think that like even as an MC, that has actually been a lot of strong defining moments of, because it's sometimes when you have a human element that is disrupting your flow when you're trying to conduct something that they're not doing, and at that point it's like I don't know if it's like the Chicago side of me where it's kind of like, oh, let's talk about it, motherfucker. Like, no, like in front of everybody. You know what I mean? No, this ain't no side conversation now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and again, it like I understand drunk energy and all that kind of stuff, but it's almost kind of like I don't play baseball rules. You just get one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're gonna get. I'll give you one, and depending how innocent to not it is, like I will, either be like, all right, that was a response, whatever. Or just breeze right over it, like not acknowledge it at all, right? But then if it's something like that where it's like, man, it's intentional fucking disrespect to what's happening, right? At that point, I get way less tolerant.
Right.
That's why I love being the host, because I can be the bad guy.
Right, and you're supposed to control the room.
I have to control the room.
Kind of on you.
Yeah. So like that's why I'm like I'm willing to do. That's why I also, as a host, you start and open the show, and I like to be the buffer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes how crowds, it takes them a minute to kind of get into, oh yeah, I'm at a comedy show. I got to listen to comedy. You know,
cold open's always weird. Yeah.
And that's why I was saying I want you to come through Bingo Karaoke, because if comedians come in, they want to do a set. You can do 3 minutes, but you have to select a song for that set. So your time starts. You do your set. You get a light at 2 minutes, and then right at 3 minutes, your song just starts playing.
Oh, I got you. That's how your set's over?
But you only get one comedy set. You can sign up for karaoke as many times as you can.
Right.
But you only get 1 3-minute set.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I would not do karaoke.
Well, you got to at mine. You don't just get a free 3-minute set. You have to
You have to sing?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
Country
roads,
roads.
I would not do that. I would watch that.
Yeah. Well, Esperanza.
I would make fun of other
That's why I loved
comics
Esperanza, and she put me on her show at Jack's on this Sunday. That this episode won't hear, but the intro will for the episode coming out. Anyways, she did it. She was the first one to, because comedians get there's a lot of comedians that are that way, right? No other skills and talents other than comedy. What do you do with your free time? Oh, I just do comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's funny because it's kind of like, you know, if you think about it, everybody's got a karaoke song because everyone's got a road trip song. If you have a road trip song, you have a karaoke song. And so that's the way I see it. And people think that karaoke is in the same avenue of what stand-up comedy is like be good or not, right?
Yeah.
And karaoke is not meant to be good. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Being good is only a bonus. But karaoke is not meant to be good. And a lot of people don't understand it. And I will remind people, I said, do you know what karaoke translates to in Japanese?
No.
2 things. 1, empty orchestra. And 2, tone deaf.
Didn't the guy that invented karaoke just pass? Did you see that? I think
if it's the same guy that also made Dragon Ball Z, I don't know.
No, dude. That's not the same guy.
It's not this. Going Super Saiyan on my.
That's the move he does. He's like karaoke.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I just got to be so many Japanese karaoke bars that are like, yeah. I would kill it in Japan. Anyways, shout out to Anthony Ramos who's there during this time.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be cool.
Were you? Did you do the role? Did you go to Reno's or anything like that last night?
No,
Okay.
I didn't go up there.
Yeah.
I usually like to hit Hyenas Fort Worth on Thursday nights. It's a super
Yeah.
fun basement, but don't get out there much. It's pretty far.
Tough. Like I would like, and I've performed well enough, but I feel like I'm not known well enough in the scene there that like I would have to wait, and I have to just be way more conscious of just like to drive an hour for an open mic.
Oh yeah, for
with
sure.
my family at home and stuff. It's hard to do. And plus, it's because I go there for gigs like 1 to sometimes 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Justifying that drive
Yeah,
is just tough, dude. So
have you done the Arlington Improv? Have you been in that? They have maybe my favorite main room, but I don't get out there because I got to drive adjacent
you know,
to
so
Dallas.
it's on Tuesday. So I do my gig on Tuesdays, right? But like
cool,
it's a little bit earlier, right? Is it at like 6?
It used to be, but they shuffled it a lot. I'm not sure what time it is now. Now that I'm back out trying to get around, I got to figure out when that one is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I know that there was one. I think it was a Jordan Mack. I think he started one in like this wine bar that's like literally downtown Fort Worth. So it's
that
like
one's cool.
less than 10 minutes away from Library Bar. So if I get
Southside, yeah.
So if I get set up earlier, Southside Tellers, there we go. So if I get set up early at Library Bar and before 8 p.m., then I'll roll over there. And usually I'd be like, nobody wants to sign up for the first slot. So I'm like, give it to me, go. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's because I'm like, that's where I met Esperanza, and she's like, yo, you came in with such an energy. That was like her biggest thing was like, I came in with such an energy where like I understood what the first slot was. Jordan Mack didn't do any comedy really. He was just like, let me just bring up the first go. So I'm like, all right, buffer time, let's go. You know, so you 5 years into comedy now, dude. Like, how do you want to see the progression? What are certain avenues that you want to? Right now, I think you set a really good tone. How'd you feel the set? I don't know if you mentioned, but did you feel good about the set at the end after Big Laughs?
Oh yeah, for sure. The first one, I could have done the hosting job a little bit better for the first show. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you were a host too?
Yeah.
So you hosted, opened, and then brought her out.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. It was just me and her. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I didn't know that when I brought it up. I assumed there would be somebody else there, but she gave me a little bit more time when I got there.
I would have fucking
ended up being very fun.
I would have killed that host and shit.
I loved it. It was great. The first.
But it would have been clean comedy, so I would have liked to take that test too. Did you? How much practice did you have with clean comedy before you went up on that stage? Did you like have?
Oh, plenty. Yeah.
Okay.
I used to do not more than I do now since I moved back, but I was going to Backdoor regularly, working on clean stuff there. That's for anybody listening, a clean club in Richardson. They don't do poop humor out there, so you got to like limit yourself. But I think that's a good tool to have. Obviously, it ended up getting me a gig.
Yeah, no poop humor because it's like because it's backdoor. I last time I was there, I literally like opened with that.
Oh, really?
knowing full well that they're like not about like no like everyone's like all right, no one mentions it, and I'm like. So nobody's gonna talk about like,
and it's called Backdoor. And you can't mention poop.
Yeah. Oh no, I said nobody. I'm like, so we can't even talk about the fact that a place called Backdoor. We got a bunch of these human butts coming up, and a place called Backdoor is. Wish. But like, got to keep it clean with all these dirty dirty ass comedians that are coming up here, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then everyone was like, you felt like the few laughs, but then it was just like, oh, you know? They're like, oh, they're never gonna book him. I'm like, yeah, I know, you know. So, like, but again, it's kind of like I also want to go to, I like going to sometimes open mics where it's just like, I don't know, I don't like the restriction because of my corporate game and what I do with my private events, that I have to be clean and calculated. You know?
Yeah.
And so when I'm doing stand up, I love the ability to just free flow and go.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like even like a couple of comedy shows I put on. It was even one that formerly when I was at Stadium, which is a smoking bar. It's classified as a restaurant, so there are literally families fucking eating while people are just fucking sitting around having cigarettes and shit, or smoking hookah and whatnot. Yeah. I've seen them like even for after 9, it's supposed to be 21 and up. They still allow like people to bring their kids and stuff like that, and they're just conscious that like, oh, they can't drink, blah blah blah. But man, I've had little kids at my comedy shows, and also my kids have seen my comedy, and I don't hold back because sometimes it's like when I'm at home, I'm pretty calculated, but when I really want to say how I feel, I'm like, that's fucking dumb, you know, you know, and that's just me, and they know me as I'm gonna keep it honest with them. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm like, that was good, I'm proud of you, I love that. But if I don't like it, I'll tell you why, you know, and you know exactly how I feel, you know, and so.
Well, all your kids have seen your comedy? Yeah. Man, the 8-year-old, you're a young one.
But you know, it's funny because it's like one of them was like it was kind of late one, and it was during their like school break type of time. Oh yeah. It was actually a show I did. It was Diego Morales the first time he booked me, and it was in like Oak Cliff at this like Mexican restaurant, but it was a Mexican restaurant allowed like families, right? Yeah. But they had a nightclub like extension in the back, and that's what it was, right? And and
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so Diego, it was funny because he was like, "Family's invited. It's not clean comedy, but you can bring your kids if you want to." You know what I mean? Yeah. So like even like when I do it, it's kind of like if I see a kid, I'm like, "You gonna learn some shit today?" You know? That's the way I feel. I'm like, you're going to learn some shit. Your parents are cool enough to bring you. You're going to learn some shit, you know? I had a joke I made for a girl with Down syndrome I saw.
Oh, you did it on the spot?
Yeah.
Dang, dude. How'd it go?
And it's actually to real emotions, but it also is a joke to like everyone else to highlight them. So it's like, it's in a sense was, because I talk about my silent party system doing... Yeah. I'm a big advocate for people on the spectrum because like especially that's something that I take for granted, you know, social dynamics and stuff that comes easy to me. And there are people that mentally and physically can't even. It's so hairballing, triggering that like we couldn't even fathom mentally what they're dealing with. Right. So you know, and I learned more about it when I would do these bar and bat mitzvahs and see kids who are not partying with the rest of the kids, or maybe like the sister or brother of the mitzvah kid, and they're like with headphones by the bathroom. And as a bona fide funkle, I couldn't get that kid to dance. You know what I mean? And so big part of the reason but I say I'm like pretty much the premise of the joke is that I don't know if anybody in here has a favorite disability, but it's definitely Down syndrome. I was like, because, and I'll tell you why. They're my favorite people. I was like, because no matter who I meet, their unequivocal ability to stay happy almost all the time always makes me happy. And it's always a fun energy, and I always get to know the best people. And it's like, I feel like in this PC world, why don't they start calling it up syndrome, bro? These happy ass. I mean, like that's so you know. So it was kind of you know what I mean. Like and again, not zero preparation to like, oh, I'm going to say that joke. I've never said that joke before.
Oh man.
And so
that's awesome.
Getting and she was older. Like she looked young. Yeah. But she was like 24, 25.
Right.
But her parents were they were fucking hella cool.
That's awesome.
They came, you know. And there it is. And this is where we go to the deep part of our conversation. But yeah, man, I mean, it was I didn't have to plan. That was my MC ability, and somehow I didn't rant, I was consciously able to kind of, I'm like, all right, say only what you need to say, you know what I mean?
Right.
But have the premise be really more highlighting than anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's crazy. Ballsy to jump into too.
Yeah, and then the tag was also like, you know, the way that evolution is going. I'm really excited when they find the new class of Up syndrome. You know, like it's gonna be a really good time. You know, like so have that joke that it went really well, and it's like inclusion. There was that, you know what I'm saying, that feeling of inclusion. I think that's a big part of comedy that people don't understand is that the jokes sometimes, most of the time, I say majority of the time, because I do think that there are comedians that present an actual real view and try and make it sound comical, but you could just, again, you feel like, nah, I feel like that motherfucker means it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, he don't talk the same way he does it on Seinfeld, you know? You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, but really I think that there's a way of being able to, if you make fun of certain things, I think that jokes can actually provide inclusion than,
Yeah, for sure.
you know what I mean, than looking at as a punch down.
Right. Like that's why I heard like when they got rid of the Redskins logo and made them the Commanders and everything, they had like all these people, Native American groups being like, hey, we don't feel included anymore because you took away our mascot. I don't know if that was the right one. They got rid of a lot of Indian ones.
It sounds like a bit.
I'm sure it is.
More forgot. You know, like that's actually a fucking good ass bit too. It's like Native American tribes are being more and more forgotten because sports teams are taking them off.
Yeah, we already killed off all the real Native Americans.
Yeah.
Now we're killing the mascots.
Cleveland's holding strong. Chicago.
I think they got rid
Blackhawks.
of their the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, Blackhawks still holding strong.
Damn.
Blackhawks holding strong.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one as like a.
Wow. Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some belts and stuff like that.
Blackhawks, you can't have a team name.
Yeah, and it's all white dudes. It's fucking shit. It's fucking amazing. We take great pride in Chicago about that shit. There's a lot of sexually suggestive referencing where conversations end up going a certain way, just because of what they think they might have heard. You know what I mean? You never know where it can go. You know. We need more black hockey fans. That's what I'm saying. All right, man. So, you know, I appreciate you coming through, talking a little bit about your journey into your comedy world and the experience that you've had. I'm just excited. I think again, I kind of said that when I do these podcast episodes is to get to know the person I'm talking to in a more deeper way. You know. So it definitely reinvents the relationship forward, you know, of how that person, right? So that being said, I don't know how many of gigs or shows that you have coming up in the future past the next 4 weeks because your episode's going to be a while. But let's do a manifestation. Talk about some venues that you think you would like to do a show. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a headlining one, but maybe let's say like where would you want to be, like the Cody Swindell and Friends headlining show?
That would obviously be cool.
Where would you like to see that show?
Oh, like I don't know, dude. I mean, it's corny.
Do you have a favorite venue
in Dallas
that you performed at?
No, I don't. In Dallas, I don't have a favorite venue because we have so many.
Yeah,
I like to. Try
and
to
crowds are just so different at every show, every city, every
I do love Arlington Improv's main room.
Yeah,
that's just like the physical shape of it and everything, you know.
Yeah, and I think I think Arlington actually brings like a consistent, decent crowd that is a respectful audience for the most part. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Fort Worth, like you can get that like country, like. You know what I mean? That like country, like big spitter that just, you know, sit in front row, bringing it, you know what I mean?
That fills out, they fill out Fort Worth easy too.
Yeah.
Fort Worth Hyenas.
I mean, yeah, Hyenas is going, but like, I'm excited to see like places like Big Laughs and what they're going to do and how that's going to.
I am excited to see like what, not just Big Laugh, but like Jack's and everything. See where DFW comedy ends up in even a year from now, dude. Because
man,
hopefully everything settles down after the pandemic.
Because you know, it's, because like, would you ever move back to Austin?
Yeah, for sure. since me and my wife have been married, we started out in Austin. We've bounced back and forth between Austin and Dallas every year.
Close to the city? Like you would stay close to the city?
In Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to.
I always said if I ever moved to Austin, I would want to do it like one of those cities between Austin and San Antonio, like Kyle or...
Dude, we lived in Kyle and we lived in San Marcos,
yeah.
but it's beautiful between there. I love San Marcos.
Yeah.
If I could pick anywhere to buy a house, it might be down there.
Really?
Like South Austin. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like, I mean...
still in the rent game for...
Yeah. I definitely like want to make my presence known because I just feel like outside of comedy, I feel a lot of other brackets too.
Oh yeah,
and so I know I can do a lot just with the entertainment scene in general.
For
right?
sure. Yeah. Houston too, man. You got Houston's up.
Yeah, I haven't done any of the comedy scene in Houston yet.
I haven't done a lot either.
I've done gigs. Yeah,
cool.
I've done gigs. But like when I do go, it'd be like if the reception's on a Saturday night, I'm like leaving that Saturday morning, right? And so. You know, it's like really usually a pretty short trip. I'm not spending a day or two more.
Is that what you did? But back in Atlanta, were you throwing an event there?
I was doing a wedding reception out there.
Nice.
That's when you see me doing something out of state. If it's not corporate, it's usually a wedding.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that one was like a 2-day event. I did Atlanta a month ago, and then it was last weekend. Last weekend I was in Georgia, but it was a place called Jekyll Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was my first time being there. Me and Illist, and nice. They booked us for 2 days, which is that's
awesome.
It's a big contract. So
for a wedding?
Yeah, Indian wedding.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I do like luxury, high scale, like South Asian, but like destination weddings.
I've seen some of the stuff that you did. I don't even know what all it was like your production or whatever, but it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, we have a specific list of vendors across the country that like produces a consistent same type of show with the same audio equipment, lighting, all that. We're very conscious. We just
gotcha. Yeah.
So when it comes to like AV production, we are very acoustic aware. And just how many people you're trying to entertain. You don't want to have like some basic little like lights on, like a gig bar or something like that. Right. But yeah, we have it's all high end luxury and destination. So it's like we no matter where we are, even in Mexico, Canada,
right,
we'll make sure that we have our requirements based on what we know about the room and all.
Hell yeah.
Like basic requirements, everything else you build up from there.
Right.
So
very cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it.
But yeah, like people are like, so you bring all that? I'm like, no, motherfucker. The only thing I bring is my own microphone. I actually have my own Showman mic.
Nice.
So when I do my big events, like you won't see me at like fucking library bar with it, but
right.
Like when I do my like private corporate stuff, like you'll see me with a like black and gold head microphone.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm reeling this shit down. So no favorite venues. You just like book me anywhere.
I do. I do love Hyenas Fort Worth.
All right. So how long until we get to Cody Swindell first? I mean, you said you want to prepare an hour, but I think you prepare an hour and do 30 minutes for your first release.
Yeah. Well, I do want
to
to release stuff before I release.
So you have your first
an hour, but that stuff's so far down the road. The first guy I got to open for at the Improv, I was talking to him. He was gracious enough to entertain my new guy questions and stuff in the green room, just unnecessary shit I'm spitballing. But I was like, yeah, man, I don't feel like I can be comfortable with myself until I have like 2.5 hours of material. And I have like 20 minutes right now. Like, it seems very...
I mean, I think, you gotta, as any entertainer, man, you have to give yourself some grace, you know what I mean? But like...
For sure, yeah.
When it comes to the movement of this game, I don't see you being able to really make a name for yourself of, if you have a solid 20 minutes, it's like, I say you got 15, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's...
Oh, exactly.
I think there's
some
scale, So when I say like I've done 20 minutes at that time, and that was my first year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, I would say how I estimated it about like 12 to 14 minutes of material, and then like 6 to 8 minutes.
Well, I'm 3 years in, and I've definitely got more than 20, but I've done.
You're not a crowd
I won't
work
say
guy.
that I have.
Yeah.
Right. I won't say I have the amount of time until I've done it.
Yeah.
I had more in the tank after that 20 or whatever. I had other jokes that I can do, but I can only say I put together a 20-minute set.
So you
know what I mean?
So I think would you confidently say that you think you have 30 minutes now?
I have 30 minutes, but that's what I mean. Like, I'd have 30 minutes of material, But stuff that I've put together for a set,
right?
Like I might have a handful of jokes that wouldn't make any fucking sense for me to bring up in the middle of that 20-minute set or something. So maybe not all of it fits, but right now, if I'm sure I could go fill 30 minutes and it would make sense and it would be fine. Mm-hmm. But as far as me, that's what I'm getting at. Presenting it to a booker, I'm not going to tell a booker I have more than I've done already. You know what I mean? Knowing that I have some more in the tank or whatever, I don't know where I go after that 20 minutes. You know what I mean? I haven't put that material in place yet. That's what I mean, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, don't be afraid to take the leap, Cody. I believe in you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's the thing. I'm like right at that point where if it's a longer set, like at 3 years in, I'm trying to learn how to use rooms. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I love Dusty's. I know what it is now. I know it's like you're just throwing stuff out there, trying to be comfortable in the moment. You get a long chunk.
Yeah. Shout out to Dusty's Bar in Denton, hosted by Jacob Marshall, because when you walk in, don't have any complaints. You saw the name.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what to expect. You walk in, you see everything.
It's extra dusty in the smoky section too.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, it's funny actually. The last time I was there, Pilar came with me.
Yeah.
And it was just like a random Sunday night. I think I got done recording.
That was a fun night too. It was a good night.
It was chill. And I think it's funny. Like those are the open mics. I think that are actually truly special, because every once in a while you have maybe a small handful of just regular patrons that are just chilling there. That whatever you want to entertain. But there's a decent camaraderie, and I think it actually all stems from the host. And I think you can tell a lot about the open mic on how the host conducts himself.
For sure.
And I don't think anyone's perfect. And again, everyone's an individual, and so there'll be varied energies, mic to mic. But when you're talking about, if you're looking at it as like on a scale consistently, you can kind of gauge a little bit of the energy of how it is. And a culture of the camaraderie between the comedians, based on a lot of times it's the host a little bit, like
definitely fun to hang
maybe
loose.
like the political, affluence of
at Mana's mics. You kind of get the sense you shouldn't say something. You're like not that you can't, but it's not gonna work.
They've clawed people out. That's what she's done. Definitely clawed out comedians from her shows. So, and again, it's that is 1,000% her prerogative, and we are also talking about a game that's built off a lot of emotion, a lot of opinion. And so
that's what's cool, like the shark stuff and all that stuff. Like everybody's got stuff popping up on DFW, and some
I gotta follow up with fucking Noah, man. That dude.
Oh yeah.
My heart goes out to Noah Shark Robertson more than any DFW producer.
Keeps trying.
Like he deserves all the fucking success.
Yeah,
100%. Like, he's just been trying to find a home base, and I think a lot of producers don't really have a home base.
Yeah.
Unless they like own the club or they're managing the club,
right.
But he's been really trying to like create a name and navigate in being able to have a home base space. And he's done such a great job,
That last place, I really do feel for him.
Dude.
Got his name thrown on the wall, and then it shuts down like right after,
Bro, and you know what it's being turned into?
A
Nigerian restaurant.
Ah, come on. It's not even going to do any kind
of... that's the clip that's going to go for Cody Swindell. And when I said Nigerian restaurant, he's like, come on.
Son of a bitch.
Damn it. Not one of those again.
Nigerian.
But I mean, again, it's like these are business. This is business. Hands being shaken, deals are being thrown down, money's being put in, and
I thought it might still remain a breakfast joint.
No,
or whatever.
Because Buzz Brews is pretty much
there.
gone. Buzz Brews is pretty much gone, all like in its entirety.
Right,
I don't even know.
Well, that one, that one wasn't a part of the other Buzz Brews, though.
But
I don't know what
it
all
was
that
funny
shit
because
was.
like
that was crazy.
The shitty stuff was the shitty part was that I believe, and what I understand from the situation is that the owners were giving him a lot of false hope. And so they're telling him that the new owners are going to, once they do their rebuild, because they want to keep it somewhat of a live event venue to do small shows like, what you've been doing, they want to bring you back.
Right.
I'm like, you ain't going to have no fucking Sharks Comedy Club, death metal shit in a Nigerian restaurant. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, why you putting hope on this man? And it was funny because my roast was like the last show.
Yeah.
He had a small showcase after, but like, yeah, it was pretty much done. Like the next day, I had to go back to grab some of my gear, my like backpack and stuff. So I was like, fuck, I'm like, I had to go back. So I went back, and when I showed up, Ruth Banks was pulling up in his little like his Nissan or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he pulled up right after in a U-Haul to grab all his stuff. And I'm like, fuck.
That sucks. He's just trying to, he's putting out stage time for people,
never
so I
quits,
appreciate
though.
it, dude.
And that's what I'm trying to say is Noah Shark Robertson is the shining example to any comedian that is trying to do it and make it happen.
Yeah, dude.
The only common denominator of every success story is never quitting.
Yeah.
Never quit. Right? Now, look in the camera, Cody, and tell
Some
me.
people should quit.
That was perfect because I switched to your solo camera, and that's what you like that. Right. One more time, because you gotta be earnest. You look into the eyes of the handfuls of views that this episode is gonna get. Let them know, any aspiring entertainer, comedian, self-entrepreneur. Let them know.
Damn. They need a motivational quote? Is that what I'm giving them?
Tell them what you really want to tell them.
To quit? To stop? To don't
I'm sorry.
do
This might be just funny to me. This is funny.
No, I do appreciate. I'm not talking about Noah, by the way. Appreciate the stage time he's given me. I had a lot of fun.
No, you're just saying there are people though who should definitely quit.
Yeah, I do think.
I do believe that. Yeah, I do believe that.
But that is true in the process.
But here, I also said I also said during the pandemic. Okay, knowing that 2020 was supposed to be my profitable year, I was like, all right. When that happened, I was like, now I'm about to find the real players in the game, And so stand-up comedy though is that like it's like almost a constant pandemic when it comes to your career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when you were talking about they were giving him false hope. It's like comedy seems to be the last saving grace.
Yeah.
We're like the vultures of dying businesses. Like
right.
They're like, maybe we'll throw on an open mic, and then a month later the business closes.
Yeah.
Seems to be like that's a lot of where open micers get their time.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of transition and shift and all that kind of stuff. And ultimately, I'm sure, like whatever this restaurant that opens up, they're probably maybe going to bring in comedy elements, but I highly doubt it's going to be a very heavy metal.
Yeah. Not anything sustainable.
Yeah, the brand. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's too big of a contrast to the brand.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can see somebody like, Switch Alert or some shit, fucking running up in the Nigerian restaurant. You know what? Put me on Nigerian restaurant. It ain't gonna work with fucking Noah Shark. Put Shawn Kay the Showman. It ain't gonna. I'm just a light skinned Nigerian. You don't know. You don't know. We are brothers. I promise you. We are brothers.
Shawn's Comedy Club.
Yeah. No, the show. Yeah, the Showman's Comedy Club.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be. The Showman's Comedy Club, or Show Up Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Because like my whole tag and brand is a showman shows up. That's my tag and brand. So like if I were to do a comedy club, it would be you heard it here first. Show Up Comedy Club would be the name of mine.
Show up everywhere too, dude. Yeah. Mexico, Atlanta, Nigeria, you go everywhere, man.
It's gonna be Brandon. I'm gonna open up in all the closing improvs. It's already built for it. You know what I mean?
Do one comedy show.
I'll get a partnership with improv and shit. So they're gonna be like, we've been needing a Brandon. Yeah. I'm gonna come up with we'll figure it out. Put me on first, and we'll find out. Otherwise, Cody, we're coming to around an hour and a half, so I won't kill the rest of your Friday. But it's been a fun conversation. I've been enjoying earnestly. I've been enjoying getting to know you, bro.
Yeah.
As I can safely assume now, with the amount of interviews that I have done, that I'm just going to safely assume that you've never seen any episodes of the Metro Icon podcast and was just taking a full opportunity to be on one. Yeah. If anyone knows how I end my podcast with the guest saying a final quote, sentiment, or statement out to the world that they would want, and the way I would frame it is, if this was to be the last thing you would ever say on camera, like, you never know, tomorrow's never promised. This is the last thing you would ever say on camera, as you, Cody Swindell, this is who you are.
I have to pick a parting phrase. Do you know how long it takes me to pick deodorant and the deodorant? This is going to take me hours.
The problem is you still wear deodorant. That's your problem.
Yeah, just ditch all.
I haven't worn deodorant in like 6 years.
That's the phrase, dude. Ditch all of it. Give up.